And Sarah, in South Sudan, I think you were telling me, like even girls playing sport is not cultural, right?
No, it's almost a taboo. It's a few girls that do play, but they're considered, you know, rebels or
Like outcasts.
they
from
must
the
be
family.
crazy. Because when I go back home, my main agenda is to open the eyes of these girls, to let them know that somebody out there is doing it and they don't care what culture has to say about it, because I know the benefits of playing sports. So I'll put on my shorts and I'll go play with some of the guys, and they're really good. So at first they look at me like, I don't know if she's a girl. Maybe not, you know, because again, in our culture, we get married really early. And so I'm 31 and I'm in shorts and I'm playing basketball with boys. So it's a crazy and, you know, unprecedented. So I go out there and I do what I have to do, and hopefully there's a kid somewhere in a hat looking outside the window saying, I want to be like her when I grow up.
That's amazing. I mean, I know Luol Deng really well, and he's such an amazing, like, he's an amazing person. I know he's really keen on doing lots for girls and young women in South Sudan. But, you know, what more can be done to sort of bring basketball to South Sudan? What do you think needs to be done?
We need more courts.
Okay.
It's you know, the facilities are limited. So for the girls to travel from one place to the other will take so much. First of all, the parents, to be convinced that the kid is not going so far, they have to have something closer to where they are. So if different courts were put in different, you know, convenient locations, it would actually help a lot.
But in terms of priorities, though, are girls going to school, or is there lots? I mean, since all the sort of stuff that went on in South Sudan.
You know, if I had, well, back at home, if I had school fees for one child, they always pick the boy.
Yeah.
So girls are still deprived. Our voices are still not heard, and so, yeah.
And are there women in government in South Sudan? Are there?
They are a few. They are a few.
But not enough. That's going to change policy, or that's going to change. Okay. And what about women in other leadership arenas? Are there women in?
I don't think we have a lot of role models when it comes to women in South Sudan.
Well, you're definitely one of them. So it's really exciting to see that you're actually, you know, I mean, putting culture aside. How do you handle that? What do your parents say, or what do your family say?
My parents are very supportive. Growing up, my dad was extremely supportive. My mom was a bit scared, but that is understandable. Yeah. So they are very liberal, and they're educated as well. So they're open-minded and, you know, accepting of our
of what you want to do.
Yes.
So Sarah, I mean, obviously sport can be such a big part of integrating refugees with local communities, right?
Right.
And how do you see that happening in places like Dadaab or Kakuma, where you know they're living, the refugees are living, you know, side by side with the host communities?
Well, tournaments. You know. Making platforms for them to come together, just a fun place for everybody to be, people to interact, and for them to get to hear their stories, because most of the time it's just they came. Those people, you know. So if you create a platform where you
it's
can,
it's people.
Us and our people, that would be, you know.
And what about the whole areas of sexual violence against the young women refugees? Is that prevalent?
Oh, that is a very sensitive topic, because especially in South Sudan and in the refugee camps, women just are silent, because if you got raped, it was your fault. You know, you had to have done something for you to get raped. It's never the man's fault. So they need to have talks. They need some counseling as well, you know, to help those that have gone through it, to also help protect those that haven't gone through it.
And sport can actually empower these women
Yes.
to actually start talking about things that have happened to them.
Right. Like 2 days ago, we had the camps at USIU where we target the slum kids, and it's organized by Hustle Hard from the States. And after the camp, we take them aside for about an hour and a half to just have life skills, and we incorporate, you know, the sexual violence and all these other topics that we know they need to hear about, especially at this age, because leave alone outside of sports, even in sports, some coaches have, you know,
take advantage.
so, yeah, they actually take advantage of the kids, and they need to know what their rights are and where to get help in case that happens.
And what about in South Sudan itself? Is that help available?
Not that I know of. There's not an entity that I could pinpoint and say, this is where you can go and you'll get the help that you need.
So there's lots of women in South Sudan that are actually just living with the stigma of having been sexually abused and not knowing where to turn. Their parents probably don't even know.
No, because if you go back, it's not much that you'll be told, and especially if you're not married yet, then you have just lost your chance of ever getting married, because a girl should remain pure until she's married. So it's so much that goes into it, the humiliation, you know, the opportunities of even having a family, and your own family can actually disown you. So
that's crazy, and you know, that's why I get really like inspired by some of the work that Masai does, you know, and with young men, where he sort of teaches about respecting women and teaching life skills, you know, as basic as that. So you know, I think I really do love what he does in that area. But I'm so excited for when the Giants of Africa comes back, and we're able to do some more work in the refugee camps and make it bigger than we did this year. So I'm excited. I'm so excited to have you on the team, because you're such a great role model for the young women from your country. So thank you for coming, Sarah. I really appreciate it. And good luck with Christmas and all your stuff that you're doing for the homeless people. That's absolutely wonderful.
I'm excited. I can't wait.